All right, hi, welcome back. Attorney Steve Vondra, and we are talking celebrity endorsement. All right, this is general legal information only, not legal advice. So, what are we talking about here today? So, nowadays, everybody's building their YouTube channel, it seems, their Instagram channels, Twitter. They're beefing up their fans and followers and trying to monetize them by celebrity endorsement or product placement. Discussing or endorsing products or services in their tweets or in their Instagram posts. So, is there any rules in this area? Are you free to do whatever you want? Oh, of course, everything's regulated, you know that. So, anyway, we have the FTC is your regulatory agency that gets involved with truth in advertising, okay? Truthfulness, okay. FTC, you know what that stands for? Federal Trade Commission. Okay, so under Section 5, you can find the law at 15 U.S.C., that's United States Code, Section 405, but this is Section 5 of the FTC Act, okay? So there are some real basic requirements. I mean, to me, this is not tough. This is not brain surgery, but there's a lot of people doing it wrong. You can end up involved in these enforcement actions with what they call the ERSP, the Electronic Retailing Self-Regulation Program. And so this is an investigatory part of the FTC that's looking into your social media pages, seeing if you're making false and inaccurate or misleading endorsements. And so there are some rules and guidelines. There is an FTC enforcement guideline. I'm going to go over some of the examples for you just so you can get an idea of how all this works. But the whole point is we want truth in advertising. Consumers should know when you are just speaking on your own or when you're being paid something, consideration like money, or you're getting free merchandise or whatever. So the public deserves to know when you're pimping a product, okay? And that pimping must be honest opinions, honest findings, honest beliefs, not misleading, and substantiated. This is a really important one. I learned way back in law school. Nothing has changed on this. When you make claims, you need to be able to substantiate them, okay? So don't say, 100 people tried the product and 99 of them absolutely loved it, if you don't really have that data, if you didn't really do the study, if you can't really substantiate it, okay? And another part of these endorsement guide is clear and conspicuous disclosures, okay? They don't want customers to have to sift around in your Instagram post and see if this is an advertisement, looking for the hashtag ad or the hashtag sponsored or the hashtag paid testimonial, whatever the case may be. Those are some good things to put in there, by the way, to make it nice and clear and conspicuous as to what's going on. But no deception in advertising. You would think it would be kind of easy, but what happens when you start pimping products? Of course, everybody wants to sell the products. So sometimes there's what we call puffery or puffing that goes on. So the FTC has put out some examples. And so I'm going to go over some of these examples. This is good to know if you're either an advertiser or an endorser. Okay, either one could potentially be held liable, and there are enforcement actions and things that could happen. So you don't want to get on the bad side of the FTC, located in Washington, D.C. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these examples. Advertisements presenting endorsements by what are represented directly or by implication to be actual consumers should utilize actual consumers. Doesn't that make sense? In both the audio and video, or clearly and conspicuously disclose that the persons in such advertisements are not actual consumers of the product. So be truthful. Tell people what's going on. Example, a brochure for a baldness treatment consists entirely of testimonials from satisfied customers who say that after using the product, they had amazing hair growth and the hair is as thick and as strong as it was when they were teenagers. The advertiser must have confident and reliable scientific evidence that is the product that the product is effective in producing the hair growth, okay? So again, you got to have reliable scientific evidence, not voodoo science, not some thing you conjured up and you came up with some way to test this. So the ad will also likely communicate that the endorser's experiences are representative of what new users of the product can generally expect. Therefore, even if the advertiser includes a disclaimer such as, "Notice, these testimonials do not prove our product works. You should not expect to have similar results," the ad is likely to be deceptive unless the advertiser has adequate substantiation that new users will typically experience the results similar to those experienced by the testimonials, okay? So, again, it has to make sense what you're saying, and it's got to bear out, get past what we call the giggle test, okay, or the sniff test. It's something smells funny here, okay? Next example, an advertisement disseminated by a company that sells heat pumps presents endorsements from 3 individuals who state that after installing the company's heat pumps in their homes, their monthly utility bills went down by $100, $125, and $150 respectively. The ad will likely be interpreted as conveying that such savings are representative of what consumers who buy the company's heat pump can generally expect. The advertiser does not have substantiation for that representation because, in fact, less than 20% of its purchasers will save $100 or more. A disclosure, there's another thing, just having disclosures. Results not typical, or these testimonials are based on the experiences of a few people and you're not likely to have similar results, is insufficient to prevent this ad from being deceptive, because consumers will still interpret the ad as conveying that the specified sayings are representative of what consumers can generally expect. So it's kind of, it's very protective as to the viewpoint, the objective viewpoint of the reasonable consumer, okay? Excuse me. The ad is less likely to be deceptive if it clearly and conspicuously discloses the general expected savings and the advertiser has adequate substantiation that homeowners can achieve those results, okay? There are multiple ways that such a disclosure could be phrased. Example, the average homeowner saves $35 a month. See, instead of puffing it to the 100, 125, 150, let's be honest. What is the average person going to save? Let's get some honesty in here. Or the typical family saves $50 per month during cold months and $20 per month in warm months. Or most families save 10% on their utility bills. So again, reeling in the puffery, reel it in. I know it's tempting. You want everyone to buy your product and be a billionaire and all that stuff, but don't cross the line. If you're not sure, call us, have a lawyer review your ads, and we can help you out there, okay? Example 3, an advertisement for a cholesterol-lowering product. You got to keep that cholesterol down, you know that. Features an individual who claims that his serum cholesterol went down by 120 points and does not mention having made any lifestyle changes. A well-conducted clinical study shows that the product reduces the cholesterol levels of individuals with elevated cholesterol by an average of 15%, and the advertisement clearly and conspicuously discloses this fact. Despite the presence of this disclosure, the advertisement would be deceptive if the advertiser does not have adequate substantiation that the product can produce the specific results claimed by the endorser, i.e. 120 point drop in serum cholesterol without any lifestyle changes. So disclaimers are important, but not when it sort of conflicts with the message that's being presented. You're saying it's what we call in law the big print giveth and the fine print taketh away. Okay, they're trying to avoid that little problem. Example 4, an advertisement for a weight loss product features a formerly obese woman. She says in the ad, "Every day I drank 2 weight-away shakes, ate only raw vegetables, and exercised vigorously for 6 hours at the gym. By the end of the 6 months, I had gone from 250 pounds to 140 pounds. The advertisement accurately describes the woman's representations made through the blogger's endorsement. Okay, let me make sure I got this right here. Okay, in order to limit its potential liability, the advertiser should ensure that the advertising service provides guidance and training to its bloggers concerning the need to ensure that statements they make are truthful and substantiated. Okay, what else here? Let's look at some more examples. An advertisement presents the results of a poll of consumers. A poll of consumers. I always love these polls. Don't you love it? It's like, Biden is beating Elizabeth Warren. And then the next week it's Bernie is now winning. It's just like, you just go, okay, how's this all changing? It's changing like every day. And you wonder, how many people are you polling? I've never been polled for anything. It's crazy. An advertisement presents the results of a poll of consumers who have used the advertiser's cake mixes as well as their own recipes. The results purport to show that the majority believe that their families could not tell the difference between the advertised mix and their own cakes baked from scratch. Many of the consumers are actually pictured in the advertisement along with relevant, quoted portions of their statements endorsing the product. This use of the results of a poll or survey of consumers represents that this is the typical result that ordinary consumers can expect from the advertiser's cake mix. Next example, an advertisement purports to portray a hidden camera situation in a crowded cafeteria at breakfast time. A spokesperson for the advertiser asks a series of actual patrons of the cafeteria for their spontaneous, honest opinion of the advertiser's recently introduced breakfast cereal. Even though the words hidden camera are not displayed on the screen, and even though none of the actual persons is specifically identified during the advertisement, the net impression conveyed to consumers may well be that these are actual customers and not actors. If actors have been employed, this fact should be clearly and conspicuously disclosed, okay? That's where you say these are not real people, these are actors, okay? Clear and conspicuous so everybody knows. And again, they don't want consumers to have to scroll around on your post to find this. So put it somewhere where they can find it in some meaningful manner, okay? Next, what else do we have? An advertisement for a recently released motion picture shows 3 individuals coming out of a theater, each of whom gives a positive statement about the movie. These individuals are actual consumers expressing their personal views about the movie. The advertiser does not need to substantiate that their views are representative of the opinions of that most consumers will have about the movie, because the consumer's statements would be understood to be their own subjective opinions of only 3 people. So this advertisement is not likely to convey a typicality message. If the motion picture studio had approached these individuals outside the theater and offered them free tickets if they would talk about the movie on camera, that arrangement should be clearly and conspicuously disclosed. Okay, I think you're getting the hang of it here. Let's do a couple more just to make sure we're feeling good here. Expert endorsements. This is under the heading of expert endorsements. An endorsement of a particular automobile by one described as an engineer implies that the endorser's professional training and experience are such that he is well acquainted with the design and performance of automobiles. If the endorser's field is, for example, chemical engineering, the endorsement would be deceptive. So your expert should be an expert in the field and not in some other field, okay? That's a deception, okay? That is, again, a problem, okay? 2, an endorser of a hearing aid is simply referred to as doctor during the course of an advertisement. The ad likely implies that the endorser is a medical doctor with substantial experience in the area of hearing. If the endorser is not a medical doctor with substantial experience in audiology, the endorsement would likely be deceptive. A non-medical doctor, an individual with a PhD in exercise physiology, or a physician without substantial experience in the area of hearing can endorse the product, but if the endorser is referred to simply as doctor, the advertisement must make clear the nature and limit of the endorser's expertise. So you can see what's going on here because, the average person is now moving into the area of becoming a marketable commodity, and rules that, kind of used to apply to, people that were advertising on TVs and in magazines. Now this is, because of social media, this is coming home to everybody. And so we're all becoming advertisers in a way. And so I think you're going to see a bigger and bigger push towards truthfulness, full disclosure. I think you get the drift of this. If you want to see more, I'll put down, let me see if there's anything else. A couple more. Disclosure of material connections. A film star endorses a particular food product. The endorsement regards only points of taste and individual preference. This endorsement must, of course, comply with one of these sections, but regardless of whether the star's compensation for the commercial is $1 million cash payment or a royalty for each product sold by the advertiser during the next year, no disclosure is required because such payments likely are ordinarily expected by the viewers. Sorry, had a little interruption there. Another example, during an appearance by a well-known professional tennis player on a television talk show, the host comments that the past few months have been the best of her career, and during this time, she has risen to the highest level ever in the rankings. She responds by attributing the improvement in her game to the fact that she is just seeing the ball better. As if seeing the ball better than she used to ever since having her laser vision correction surgery at a clinic that she identifies by name. She continues talking about the ease of the procedure, the kindness of the doctors, her speedy recovery, and how she can now engage in a variety of activities without glasses, including driving at night. The athlete does not disclose that even though she does not appear in commercials for the clinic, she has a contractual relationship with it, and her contract pays her for speaking publicly about her surgery when she can do so. Consumers might not realize that a celebrity discussing a medical procedure in a television interview has been paid for doing so, and knowledge of such payments would likely affect the weight or credibility consumers give to the celebrity's endorsement. Without a clear and conspicuous disclosure that the athlete has been engaged as a spokesperson, this endorsement is likely to be deceptive. Further, if customers are likely to take away from her story that her experience was typical for those who undergo the same procedure at the clinic, the advertiser must have substantiation for the claim. All right, so I think that's enough for you to really understand this. I'm going to put the FTC guidelines endorsement guide down below if you want to hear more examples, but you see the common thread that runs through these cases. So if you need help with a deceptive advertisement, celebrity endorsement agreements, working with advertisers, if you advertisers need an intellectual property attorney to help you with these contracts, give us a ring. You know where to find us on the web at attorneysteve.com. That's attorneysteve.com, the first name in legal services. We look forward to working with you. Have a great day now. I hope you've enjoyed this. We look forward to bringing you more great shows. Make sure to bookmark us. Bye now.